Hi guys, everybody's been requesting MFR, and let me tell you, my whole body has been requesting it also. So here you go. So all you need is a couple of tennis balls and or maybe lacrosse balls. They don't have to be identical. As you can see, I can't find my other ones. But just anything you have that are about the same in density and size will do. Even kids' toy balls, tennis balls, lacrosse balls, like I said, anything you can find like that. As we go through, just keep in mind that you need to listen to your body, do what your body is asking from you. So if something doesn't feel safe, go ahead and skip it. If you need to modify, shift the placement of the ball just a little bit to make a huge difference. This is expected to cause some discomfort, but should never get to a point of real and true pain. Okay, so as we get started, just find a nice quiet spot. All you need is a mat, nothing fancy, nothing special, and then a couple of balls. And this is going to give us a good opportunity to really kind of pinpoint. I know there's a lot of questions about placement, so this will give us an opportunity to take care of that. All right, so we're going to take care of neck, shoulders, back, and hips, and then I'd like you guys to send me some requests for other individual things that you would like to see, and I'll get those up to you too. So we're going to start in the shoulder line because that's going to help with our neck. It's going to help with tension in the shoulders and our jaw and all the good stuff that I'm sure we're all experiencing right now. So our first placement, when I talk about top of the shoulders, is right here. So if I drew this line across the top of my shoulders, the balls are going to set right there, touching. Okay? So let's go ahead and lay back. Thank you to Alyssa, my camera person. All right. So once you're there, go ahead and just take a deep breath in. And relax as you sigh it out. And just notice your breath. Let go of everything from off of your mat. So the world is a crazy place right now. It's okay to set that aside sometimes. Taking slow, deep inhalations. And long, slow exhales. And then let's start to rock the head. So just slowly side to side. As you're rocking your head, notice if you feel any movement that feels a little bit sticky. Maybe it's a little bit tougher, and it could be very minute sensation, but just a little bit tougher to move through one part of that back and forth. If you find that is happening, then go ahead and pause there. Just give it a couple extra breaths. Let's go ahead and inhale and bring the arms straight up. We're lifting the shoulder blades up off of the floor. We're really trying to find a stretch, keeping your spine settled down. So we don't want to do a crunch. We're not trying to lift the back or even lift the whole shoulder girdle up. We're simply lifting the shoulder head and the shoulder blades. Try to let your spine stay down. With an inhale, try to reach a little bit more. We're creating a deeper stretch. Good. Take one more breath in and reach. And as you exhale, slowly release the arms. Let's move our way back. So we're going to come back and we're going to stop at the point that is just in between the shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades coming together as this little V at the top, you want the balls to set in between. If you need to be a little bit higher or a little bit lower for your body, that's okay. Go ahead and adjust to where you need to. And then we'll start with rocking the head again. Inhale, bring your arms up. So same thing, let your back stay surrendered down towards the floor, but reach through your fingertips. Reach a little higher. Good, and then we're gonna wrap the arms over the chest and give the shoulders a big hug. Let's bring the opposite arm on top. Inhale to bring the arms up. This time we're going to grab opposite elbows and take the arms back behind the head. So to do that, you're going to have to pull the elbows away from your body and kind of work the arms back behind your head. And we'll just rest here for about 3 slow, deep breaths. Of breath, we'll slowly bring the arms back. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, release. Take a cleansing breath, so that's just a big breath in, filling up the lungs as much as you can, and a big sigh out. Good. From here, rolling back again, this time stopping when the balls are right in the center of the length of your shoulder blades. So I'm going to move forward on my mat. I'm running out of room already. All right. Start with rocking your head side to side. So this is going to target all the main muscles around the shoulder girdle, the muscles that run up into our neck and into the back of the skull. So this should be helpful with kind of resetting any saggy shoulders that we're getting from being a little bit more still. And then inhale to bring your arms up. Reach, reach, reach. Loosely interlace your fingers. I think the plants gave up on me. And then slowly, we're gonna tip the shoulders side to side. And it's up to you here. You can continue reaching, so you're pulling through your shoulder blades again, or you can relax the shoulders about halfway back to the floor. Maybe try both ways and see, honestly, which one is more uncomfortable. The uncomfortable one is, of course, the one you need. Your body's gonna tell you. We're just looking for those sweet spots. So as you explore this practice on your own, that's what you're always searching for. Safety is staying off of bone, especially off the center of your spine, but do go right up to the edges of it. All right, and then everybody's favorite part, we're gonna keep the arms extended a bit. Slowly take the arms straight back. If possible, resting the thumbs to the floor or maybe a pillow or a block if you have one available, that's fine too. And you can keep the arms extended, or you can relax the arms a bit, bending the elbows. This is going to actually make the stretch a little bit deeper, getting into the muscles that lie under your shoulder blades, which are really important to release. So if it's tolerable, I recommend trying it. Take about 4 or 5 breaths here. If you want, you can certainly rock your head. You can always rock your knees. You can do both. moving at your own pace always with the count of your breath. When you're ready, just bring your arms straight up. Find that stretch. If you want to, maybe tip the shoulders side to side a few more times. You'll find that it's probably a bit deeper that way, which is good, breaking through those layers. All right, and this time we're going to keep the arms extended. Lift the shoulder blades up, but not finding that really deep stretch through. We're just going to lift them about halfway, and then you're going to roll your way back and stop in between that bottom point of your shoulder blades. And then we're going to start the same way. We'll rock the head. We're going to keep the arms extended. If you want to, you can reach and find the stretch there, or you can keep the shoulders relaxed halfway or all the way. But we'll rock the head. Your choice. You can keep the arms here. You can release them alongside your body, or maybe even over your chest or back behind you. But we're just going to take about 3 really deep breaths. Taking a breath in until you find a stretch in your lung tissue and that new stretch. And now more than ever, it's so important to take care of our lung tissue. So deep, deep, deep breaths. When you exhale, push the air out of your body. Good. Roll your way back just a little bit more, just so that you're free of the shoulder blades altogether. Take a moment to rock your head and or your knees. If you're gonna rock both, I recommend rocking the opposite directions. It's a little bit harder to do sometimes. All right, and then again, we're going to roll our way back just a little bit more. So this time to a point where your shoulder blades can rest fully or mostly on your mat, okay? So what we're doing is we're lifting at the bottom point here, the bottom tapering of your rib cage. And in that, it's opening the solar plexus. It's allowing the diaphragm to be stretched, okay? And the diaphragm does get a lot of adhesions as well. We just don't notice it unless we're short of breath. And then again, we're gonna take 3 rounds of that deep, very, very deep, cleaning breath, okay? Let's clean the lung tissues out. So breathe in until you find a stretch in the lungs. And push it out. Good. Do 2 more at your own pace. If you wanna hold at the top of the breath for a moment and try to take a couple extra sips of air, that's great. Done with that, go ahead and remove the bowls. Take them out from under your back. I lost mine. And then taking any stretch with your shoulders, and you can do that sitting up or laying down. Taking one arm across, hugging that in tight as you draw that same shoulder back. So we tend to pull this shoulder forward with our arm, and instead you want to pull it back as you hug that arm in. That's a good way to get in there. And again, you can do this lying down or seated. Maybe it's just interlacing the fingers and pushing the hands out, bringing the arms up. All right, now you can get a little deeper into your lungs. So big breath in, fill everything up. Find the stretch. Hold it. Take another sip of air. Push it out. All right, so now we're gonna take the balls and place them just in line with the belly button on your back, okay? And we're gonna lay down to do this. So, if possible, the balls touch. If that feels like too much pressure on your spine, then go ahead and separate them a little bit as you need to. And we'll keep the feet to the mat. And then just focusing on relaxing through the length of your spine. We tend to do what's called guarding. We'll kind of tense up here. And what we're doing without really thinking about doing it is protecting ourselves from feeling the discomfort. So, mindfully, we need to let that go. And try to relax the spine. And then, if you would like, rock your knees. Keeping the feet about hip width apart. You might want to take them just a tiny step wider. Let's bring the right knee to the side of your ribs, okay? So to the side of your body. Keep the lower part of your leg relaxed, so don't tense the foot or the calf, just relax in. And then hugging in. Hug until you find a pinch right in the hip crease. I like to do it without holding on to my knee because I can feel that a little bit more, a little bit quicker, so that's up to you. I'm gonna go ahead and release that. Let's do the other side. Go ahead and release. Let's take a big breath in. All right, from here, roll your way back until the balls are seated right at the very top of your hip bone, okay? They can barely be in contact with your hip bone. That's okay, just make sure you're not resting on it. And then again, feet hip width apart or a little wider. Start with rocking the knees. This is helping to release the psoas, which will help with discomfort and pain in your back and through your hips. And this one's really important, especially if you've been more sedentary than you're used to when, you know, we all had jobs. All right, and then the same thing. Bring one leg up and in until you find that pinch. Usually it's a little bit deeper here as we are in deeper contact with the main muscles, with that psoas. Pull it a little bit more deep in that pinch. And then release, and we'll switch sides. Same thing. You're just drawing the knee up and into the side of your rib cage. Good. Release your foot. Take a big breath in. Try to fill up your belly this time. And let it go. All right, now one ball at a time. So you're gonna tip over to one side to remove a ball, and then tip to the other side to remove a ball. And the reason for that is we just wanna make sure that we're keeping the psoas as stable as we can. So if you're kind of lifting with both balls tucked under, you could potentially just create some discomfort. From here, we're gonna take the balls into the very top edge of your glutes. So as you lift your hips, your glutes activate, find the top edge, okay? There's a little edge there, believe it or not, there really is. And then you're gonna take the balls right into that top edge, and about halfway across each side of your glute. Okay, so halfway across each side, top edge. Start with rocking your knees. This is another important set of muscles to treat as we, again, if you're being a little bit more sedentary than you're used to, these muscles will start to shrink up pretty quick. Our hip flexors give in really easy, so we need to keep at them. And then from here, we're gonna sweep the hips. So you're just gonna push your hips left to right. And you wanna go as far out to the side edge as you can, okay? And then right up to the edge of your spine. And most likely you have to adjust the balls several times. Alright, so we're going to keep that motion, that little side to side. But we're going to move our way back just a tiny bit. So maybe we're about a quarter of the way down the length of your glutes. Okay, so literally from the bottom of your glutes to that top edge. If you think halfway and then half that at the top, quarter of the way. And the same thing, as far to each side as you can. So right up to the spine, right out to the outside edge, dipping into that hip if you can. If you come across a sweet spot or a speed bump, stop and either give it just a couple more breaths or more if you need to, or you can take some extra movement there. You can roll through that spot a little more, up to you. All right, and we're gonna move back again, so we're gonna be halfway down. For one of these sessions, we'll do a wall MFR, so you can see how if you don't have a space to lay on the floor, you can use the wall to get the same benefits, same releases. All right, moving back again so that the balls are about 3/4 of the way down. And at this point, you should be close to being right above your sit bones, and that's perfect. And you can go below your sit bones anytime you want to, that's fine. We just get the most benefit right here for having a short period of time to do this. All right, and then just go ahead and move organically. See what feels good for you. Looking for any sweet spots again. Few more rounds of breath. Alright, and then when you're ready, we're going to remove the balls and then hug the knees in. If you want to, you can rock a little side to side. It might feel better to take a sacral release here, which is hug the knees tight. Your biceps should fire up, okay? And then push the tailbone towards the floor at the same time. Maybe a few breaths with both poses. And then we'll take our figure four stretch. So right ankle rests on your left knee. Pull your legs in. Try to think about keeping your right hip grounded, but you're gonna take both legs slightly to your left. That should drive the stretch through the glute, a little bit into your hamstring and IT band maybe. Back to center, switch it out. First we're hugging in, left hip stays down, pull both legs towards the right. At any point, if you need to deepen this, it's starting with drawing this top leg, whichever one you have crossed over. So you start with drawing that closer in towards your belly or your chest, and then taking the legs further over. So the deeper you draw forward and in, and the deeper you take it to the side, but make sure that hip stays grounded, you'll find a deeper stretch. All right, release that, hug the knees back in. If you'd like to, take a happy baby. So knees are wider than the rib cage, and eventually, it doesn't have to happen right now, but eventually the ankles are stacked over the knees. You can grab hold of your big toe with peace fingers. Peace fingers go in between the toes. The thumb can wrap over the top or tuck in. Grabbing the outside edge. Go ahead and hug the knees back in and rock and roll the back out. All right, we're gonna come on to our belly for our favorite thing ever, the quads and IT. As we go through this, it's the same process, listening to your body, but there are a couple of little guidelines, so hopefully you can see this okay this way. If we're thinking of taking the quads here into sections, from the knee crease to your hip crease, halfway is here, quarter of the way, 3/4 of the way, right? So we're gonna start about 2 finger widths above the knee, because 2 or 3, we don't want to put body weight and pressure into our kneecap. All right, so you're starting here, which is almost 1/4 of the way, I'd say, and then we're just gonna take a tiny little bit of movement to get it just a little deeper, and then we'll go halfway, and then we'll go 3/4 of the way. We might go into the hip crease as well, depending on time. So as we are going, basically what we're doing is just introducing the ball a little bit more friendly instead of just diving right into the depth of the muscle. Okay, so go ahead and come onto your belly. There's a couple ways to set up. You can come on your belly first and then take the balls under the knees. I like to just set them down kind of about as far apart as I'm going to want them, and then come all the way down. So bring your hips down. I know nobody likes to do that, because if we're here, we're activating our quads and we can't feel it as much. I know it's where you want to be, but this is where we need to be. And we're doing both legs. And you have lots of options. You can be here and be still and breathe. If you haven't done this for a while, that may be all you can do, and that's okay. I'm there with you. If you would like to, you can roll the thighs across the ball. You might start to find some speed bumps right away. You can also bend or try to bend your knees. If the legs don't want to come up, if the feet don't come off the floor very far, or your legs don't go to their normal extension, it's okay. It's a level of tension and it'll come back. again, about a quarter of the way, maybe a quarter rotation of the ball, just a little bit further up. And then same thing. We're gonna roll. You're welcome to roll both sides at the same time if you're that coordinated. I'm not. We'll do it at a time. Same thing, maybe try to bend. When you're here, if you do bend the knees, it can be helpful to find a sweet spot. And if I haven't made it clear yet, a sweet spot is exactly the opposite of its name. It's very sour and spicy. It's a spicy spot. But it's a spot where we need to be. There's something happening there. So if you can find one of those spots, then slow motion, super slow motion like, release the legs back out. You'll have a really good chance of breaking that adhesion or muscle knot. You can do that as many times as you want. After you've done that a few times, it's good to roll side to side. So if you're finding a lot of bumps, that's good. We need to find those, track them down, and get rid of them. All right. Take a breath in and sigh it away. Good. Another inhale. And this time as you exhale, go ahead and roll your way back and stop halfway. So we're halfway between the knee crease and the hip crease, about. You'll find your own sweet spots. The more you do this, you'll know exactly where these points are in your body. And then we're gonna do the same things. This is getting into the belly of the muscle, so a lot more is going on. So if tolerable to take the legs side to side, that's gonna be really helpful. Find a sweet spot on both sides. So start with the left and you're just gonna find that knot. You're gonna find that spicy spot and hold and really try to relax the entire length of your leg. Relax your glutes, your belly. You can even rest down if that's more helpful. Whatever helps you to be able to surrender your muscles. Soften to bone as much as possible. Right, and then go ahead and roll that a bit. And then search for that sweet spot on the other side. Same thing. We'll just come into stillness, focusing on your breath and relaxing every muscle as much as possible. Find one more sweet spot on both sides, so a different one. Even if you feel like the first spot still needs more time, if you find a separate location, a separate sweet spot here, you're going to have a better result. So go ahead and find a new one on both sides. So we're going to do both at the same time. And once you've got that, relax your feet, your ankles, relax your calves, relax your hips and your belly, your low back, and then finally relax your thighs. Trust your body just for 3 rounds of breath. 3 exhales. Go softer and softer and softer. All right, take a big round of breath in and out. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to come back. So this time we're stopping about 3/4 of the way. Same options. Rolling the legs. Going side to side, we're crossing the muscle grain. So that's why you're going to feel more bumps doing this. It's a better way to get into deeper layers, but only as it's tolerable. Sweet spot both sides. Your choice, you can just rest. Again, if you rest your shoulders and your head down, maybe your body can respond better. If you want to, you can try to bend the knees, really get into that sweet spot. If you're still there once the knees are bent, same thing, reverse, only slower. Find a new sweet spot on both sides. And we're just gonna pause and rest and relax every muscle for 3 breaths. Deeper with each exhale. Again, up to you. If you would like to, you can curl the toes under and then maybe roll back and forth a few times. Or you can be all done with that altogether. When you're ready, remove the balls. Couple options. You can grab your foot one at a time or both to stretch that thigh. Okay, if that's there's a wall. If that's not possible, no need to worry about it. You're just going to take a child's pose. We're all going to go into a child's pose in a moment anyhow. So if you would like to, just go straight in. Please stay in your child's pose for maybe a couple moments, couple minutes even. It's a good pose to release and stretch out and just open the joints and everything that we targeted today. You can do this practice every day, what we just did every single day. You can get into other areas of your body as much as you would like to. So remember to send me either a message if you want it more private, or just Facebook message on this link what you would like to see in the next video. And like I said, we'll do a wall one, and then I can fine tune some things that you are really looking for, that you need. Make sure to keep up with your self-care, more important than ever. And that involves lots of water, right? Especially after this practice. It's a detox, so it's a great one. But make sure you're drinking water so you don't get any detox headache. And yeah, detox baths also, if you can, which is about a cup of Epsom salt, half a cup of baking soda. That would be great. Those really feel good and take the toxins out. And then most of all, curl the corners of your lips up into those amazing, lovely, beautiful, and hopefully very, very healthy smiles that I love and I miss so much. Keep that there until I see you again. Namaste.